660 KDUZ News, I'm Mark Wodarczyk. An Eden Valley woman is dead after apparently falling into a backyard fire pit at her home. According to the Stearns County Sheriff's Office, 57-year-old Benita Schwant of Eden Valley had been sitting alone by the fire pit. Her boyfriend found Schwant's body when he went outside to check on her. Emergency responders arrived early yesterday. Schwant was pronounced dead at the scene. Her body was taken to Ramsey County for an autopsy. Investigators say alcohol was likely a contributing factor in her death. The search for a Minnesota man presumed dead after a fall in India is to resume today. 20-year-old Tom Plotkin of Minnetonka twisted his ankle and fell last Thursday while hiking with a group on a trail. He fell about 100 yards to a boulder-strewn ledge by the flooded Ganges River. Gas prices in Minnesota are headed in the right direction if you are a cash-strapped consumer. The average for a gallon of unleaded has fallen more than 15 cents over the past week. AAA's Gail Weinholzer says fewer drivers on the road and lower crude oil are fueling the decline.
We are down around $80 a barrel, which is a decline from a peak in May that we saw prices well over $100 a barrel. We also, of course, now that we're past Labor Day, have seen demand drop off as people are traveling less with the kids back in school.
Weinholzer says the switch from summer grade to winter grade fuel is also a contributing factor. At last check, gas in Hutchinson ranging from $3.46 to $3.52 a gallon. The Minnesota average $3.52, as is the national average, according to MinnesotaGasPrices.com. University of Minnesota Extension Service has announced it will be closing its regional offices in Hutchinson and Fergus Falls at the end of the year. Officials cite an 11.5% reduction in state funding in the last biennium as one of the reasons for the closings. Regional Director Bob Burns says the goal is to keep operating and administration costs as low as possible that fund the educator and staff positions. Burns says another reason for the closings is a desire to have extension offices housed in University of Minnesota facilities. The Hutchinson office is in rented space in Citizens Bank South building. The 6 educators will remain on the job and will be based out of other offices. Programming officials say is not expected to be cut, and the county extension office at the McLeod County Fairgrounds will not be affected. Representatives of Minnesota agriculture are part of Governor Mark Dayton's trade trip to South Korea this week. John Lipke farms near Cortland in southern Minnesota. He says the visit gives the farmers a chance to say thank you to one of their best overseas customers.
They buy a lot of corn, they buy bean meal, they buy a lot of pork, they buy some beef, some poultry. For the size, for the population they have, they are one of our very best customers.
Minnesota delegation includes farmers representing the corn, soybean, and dairy industries in the state. The corn and soybean harvest is underway in Minnesota. The Ag Department says in its weekly report that conditions have remained dry despite some scattered rain last week. A leading dairy farmers group is backing a proposed overhaul of federal milk policies after its creator agreed participation in a program limiting production in hard times would be voluntary. The National Milk Producers Federation says it supports changes that give an incentive for voluntary participation. The president was heckled during a fundraiser, and will another Republican join the presidential field? ABC's Brad Wheelis has more.
Focus on the White House. The tickets weren't cheap, but a man was willing to shell out hundreds for a Democratic fundraiser in Los Angeles last night to heckle the president.
I want to thank God is the one and only true living God.
President Obama paused, and the man preaching to the crowd was taken away by security. The president went on to push a familiar message.
Congress and the Republicans are always talking about how much they love job creators. Do something for job creators. Pass this bill.
And earlier at a town hall meeting, the president sought to ease concerns about the economy.
We're going through a very tough time. But the one thing I want to remind everybody is that we've gone through tougher times before.
Some powerful Republican donors want New Jersey Governor Chris Christie to reconsider and jump in the race. GOP pollster Frank Luntz.
I don't want to say it's the Beatles landing in New York City, but Republicans are so excited about the possibility of Christie getting into the race. I've not seen anything like this in my time in politics.
I'm Brad Wheelis, ABC News.
Crews have contained more than half of the 93,000-acre forest fire in northeastern Minnesota. Public Information Officer Brenda Bowen says the weather has taken an unfavorable turn, but nothing serious.
Wednesday, they're saying a little bit warmer with highs near 70, maybe a little bit windier, so we may see a little bit of fire activity. Shorter flame lengths as things are drying out, but the extended forecast is calling for a chance of rain to return to the area Wednesday evening and into Thursday.
Bowen says aerial patrols will continue searching for new fires and assist ground crews with bucket drops as needed. Lightning started the fire August 18th, and it flared into a major blaze about 3 weeks ago. The green bug is on the move again. The tree-killing emerald ash borer has been confirmed in another St. Paul neighborhood not far from the city's first infestation. The latest location is near St. Paul's historic and tree-lined Summit Avenue.
We have 6 confirmed trees that St. Paul is removing because they are emerald ash borer positive. This new emerald ash borer find is about 2 miles from our core infestation in between St. Paul and Minneapolis.
State Ag Department's Liz Erickson says the ash borer has been confirmed in 4 counties in Minnesota: Ramsey, Hennepin, Winona, and Houston. Award-winning author Lisa Wysocki will read from signed copies of her debut mystery, The Opium Equation, at 7 this evening at the Hutchinson Public Library. Wysocki, a noted co-author or ghostwriter of celebrity autobiographies and author of nonfiction equestrian books. This is her first foray into fiction. Glenn Hebert, founder of Horse Radio Network, says, quote, "From the first page to the last, The Opium Equation keeps you engaged and wanting more, horse lover or not." Other books and DVDs by Wysocki will also be available at the event. An audience Q&A will follow.